In every era of Counter-Strike, there is a debate. Who is the best? Who is the most dangerous? Who is the one player you would never want to see on the other side of the server? For years, the answer changed. Names came and went. Records were set and broken. And then, quietly, without fanfare, from a small city in northern France, came a kid who made the debate almost pointless. Mathieu ZywOo Herbeau, born on November 9th, 2000, the exact same day the original Counter-Strike was released. Coincidence? Maybe. But the CS community had a different word for it. Destiny. Lens, France, a working-class city in the north, better known for coal mines and football than for esports. Mathieu grew up here in a normal household with no particular connection to professional gaming. He was quiet, gentle, never the loudest person in the room. But put him in front of a computer and something shifted. He started playing Counter-Strike at 13, and almost immediately, he was better than people who had been playing for years. Not a little better, noticeably, disturbingly better. Here's what made ZywOo different from the start. He didn't grind like other players. He didn't spend 12 hours a day on aim trainers. He didn't obsessively watch demos. He just played. And the game made sense to him in a way it didn't make sense to almost anyone else. His positioning, his timing, the way he held angles that nobody expected, the way he peeked corners at a speed that made enemies' brains short-circuit. Teammates from his early career would later say, "We knew. From the first week, we knew this kid was not normal." By 2017, he was tearing through the French semi-pro scene. Teams like Y6, AAA, against all authority, tried to keep up with him. They couldn't. But there was one thing standing between ZywOo and the professional stage: his mother. She had one condition: finish the baccalaureate first, graduate, get your diploma, then play Counter-Strike. And Mathieu, this teenager who was probably already good enough to compete at Tier 1, listened. He studied, he graduated, and then he was released onto the world. October 2018. Team Vitality, a French organization with big ambitions and a roster that needed a spark, signed 18-year-old Mathieu Herbeau. 1 month later at DreamHack Open Atlanta, ZywOo won his first professional tournament, his very first event with Vitality. First place. The CS world sat up and took notice. 2019 was the year everything became undeniable. Tournament after tournament, ZywOo was not just good. He was operating in a different dimension. A 1.30 overall rating on LAN events across an entire year, 5 MVP awards, wins at ECS Season 7 finals, epicenter, deep runs everywhere else. The numbers didn't lie, but even the numbers didn't fully capture it. Because watching ZywOo in 2019 was not like reading a stats page. It was like watching someone play the game in slow motion while everyone around him was panicking. Calm, precise, inevitable. In January 2020, HLTV named ZywOo the best player in the world for 2019. He was 19 years old, the youngest player ever to receive the award, the first Frenchman ever to receive it. The community had seen great players before: coldzera, S1mple, Device. But something about ZywOo felt different. He hadn't earned it through years of grinding a reputation. He had walked into Tier 1 and immediately been the best player in it. Then came the years of the rivalry. 2021 and 2022 belonged to S1mple, the Ukrainian genius, the most mechanically complete player the scene had ever produced. ZywOo finished second both years. And here's the remarkable thing. Finishing second to S1mple was not a failure. It was proof that ZywOo was operating at a level only one other human being on the planet could match. The whole world was watching two men play Counter-Strike at an altitude the rest of the sport had never reached. Every time they appeared on the same server, something felt different. Everyone knew they were watching history. But ZywOo didn't have a major. That was the gap. Individual awards, MVP trophies, tournament wins. He had them all. But Counter-Strike's ultimate achievement, the one thing that separates legends from gods, the major championship, had escaped him. Year after year, Vitality would go deep and fall short. Close. Always close. And the criticism started building. Could he win when it mattered most? Could he carry a team to a major title? The doubters had their question. ZywOo had his answer ready. May 2023, Paris. The Blast.TV Paris Major. The last CSGO major before the transition to CS2. And it was happening in France, in ZywOo's country, in front of a crowd that had waited years to see this exact moment. Vitality moved through the bracket with purpose. And in the grand final, ZywOo delivered. Not a highlight reel carry. Something better. A complete, controlled, suffocating performance that gave Gamer Legion no answers and no room. Vitality won 2-0. ZywOo was named MVP, and when the confetti fell in Paris, something that had been building for 5 years finally released. The French crowd was delirious. The shy kid from Lens was a major champion on home soil. 2023 became his best year as a professional. Vitality won Riyadh Masters. They won at Gamers 8. They won again and again, with ZywOo as the constant engine. HLTV named him the best player in the world for the third time, tying S1mple's record. He was 22 years old and already in the conversation for the greatest of all time. What makes ZywOo genuinely hard to explain is that he doesn't look like he's trying. Other great players, you can feel the intensity, the locked-in stare, the aggression, the visible effort. ZywOo looks relaxed. He takes breaks. He doesn't grind face-it obsessively. Teammates joke that he could disappear for a week, come back, and drop 30 kills in his first match. His coach once said publicly that ZywOo needed to be pushed to be harsher on himself, that the challenge was not mechanical. It was getting him to demand more. Because naturally, he just doesn't miss. December 2025, Star Ladder, Budapest Major. ZywOo won his third major title, the most major MVP awards of any player in history. Back-to-back major MVP, the first player to do that since coldzera in 2016. And then HLTV named him the best player in the world for the fourth time, breaking the all-time record. Alone at the top of the list. No ties, just ZywOo. 2026, EEM Krakow, Vitality win. ZywOo posts a 1.59 rating, his highest ever at a big event. Then PGL Cluj-Napoca, Vitality win again, his 30th, HLTV MVP 30, In a sport where reaching 10 is considered remarkable, where 5 makes you a legend. 30. The number doesn't seem real. But then nothing about ZywOo's career has ever seemed entirely real. There is a line from ZywOo in an interview from early 2026 that has stayed with people. He was asked what he had learned individually since joining Vitality 8 years ago. His answer, "I don't think I've learned anything individually. I was good before joining the team." Not arrogance, just honesty. The rare, uncomfortable honesty of someone who knows exactly who he is. Mathieu ZywOo. Herbeau was born the day Counter-Strike was born. He learned the game while his peers were learning algebra. He waited, patiently, dutifully, until his mother said it was time. And then he stepped onto the professional stage and never looked back. 4 HLTV Player of the Year awards, 3 major titles, 3 major MVPs, 30 MVP trophies. The greatest of all time argument, settled not loudly but quietly, map by map, round by round, one impossible shot after another. The chosen one. They called him that because of a birthday coincidence. But the longer you watch him play, the more it stops feeling like a coincidence at all.